Hello and welcome to the Handplane Challenge, British edition. I'm Mark, your host and referee/umpire. Why am I the referee/umpire? Some of the planes we evaluate deserve to have strikes called on them on account of lousy design, lousy engineering, lousy usability, or some combination of all three. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, I've included a link to the introduction video which explains the concept behind the Handplane Challenge. This is the conclusion video to a three-part series on British planes. The previous three videos covered a Scottish infill smoother, a Preston No. 9, and a Marples X4. This video will provide a conclusion and a summary to those three videos. In truth, there were no losers in this video series. All three planes would perform well as smoothing planes in anybody's arsenal. However, there were some clear differences between the planes, and at the end of the day it seemed fairly obvious to me how I would rank them. In third place is the Scottish infill smoother. Once you get it tuned up, it does very well to take shavings. It's a pleasure to use. However, it's that getting it tuned up part that seems to me to be the problem. Now, I referred to the fact that you can tighten the knob here or loosen it, and that will make microscopic little adjustments to the depth of cut. Maybe I'll get used to that one of these days, but I'm not used to it yet. In fairness, it took me a while to get used to setting a wooden plane, so it's probably too much to ask that it be automatic right out of the gate. However, that's for me the main problem with this plane is you have to fiddle with it to get it to take the kind of shaving that you want to take. And it probably has been a problem in the past as well, because I refer to the fact that the top of the plane iron is all mushroomed, so apparently I'm not the first one to get a little bit frustrated with tuning this plane. But let me be clear, once you get it tuned, it works great. Okay then, third place. Second place, Preston No. 9. I really liked this plane once I fixed it. So it's got, as I commented in the video, it's got the depth adjuster in the lever cap. That's a little bit unusual, but once I got to using it, I kind of like the way it screws down directly against the top of the blade. The cutter gives a very fine control over the depth of cut. And I like that. So I certainly pretty quickly warmed up to the mechanism, the depth of cut mechanism here on this plane. Why is it in second place? Well, I commented that it had a big arc in the bottom. It took me many feet of sandpaper on my plate glass smoothing surface to get the arc sanded out of the bottom of this plane. Likewise, I commented that one side, one cheek is thinner than the other cheek. Maybe that was due to some previous user, who knows. I tend to think that the arc part, I just can't imagine that that was due to somebody, some previous owner. I don't know how you could really get an arc in there. It seems more likely to me that that was there when it was manufactured. Likewise, there was the problem with the slot in the cutter being too big. And in the video I described how I made a spacer to put in that slot so that I could tighten the cap iron to the cutter without it moving all over the place before I got it tightened. So, especially since that may well come from the manufacturer that way, there's just no way I could give this a top of the line, you know, #1 placement in the competition. So that's why it's #2. Now, let me be clear, I really love this plane once I fixed it. I've been using it ever since the video, and it's a sweet performing plane, especially once you got the bottom flat. So if you were to own one of these and it didn't have, you know, if you now kind of understand how to fix it, and it would be a very nice plane for anyone to have in their arsenal. So that leaves the #1 plane in the series, the Marples X4. So I gave this one #1, top place, the winner in the competition, because I really liked the throat adjustment on it. You can use it as in a regular planing mode with the cap iron set close to the end of the cutter, or you can move that throat up and put it right at the end of the cutter to give a mouth opening that is almost invisible. And once you do that, it takes fine cuttings in difficult grain. I've been using this one since the video as well. Now, no plane is perfect. I mean, this one was pretty darn good. I really was impressed by this plane. I have been using it since the video, and you would think that for a plane that costs $2,300 that you could have a little bit less backlash in the depth of adjustment mechanism. So I guess perfection is too much to ask for, even at that price point. And so there's a knock. I normally never disqualify a plane for too much backlash. It's an annoyance. It's not really a non-starter. So, but nonetheless, it has a lot of backlash. But compared to the other two, most everything else was as advertised and working very nicely. So, there you have it. First place, Marples X4. Second place, Preston No. 9. And bringing up the rear, the Scottish infill smoother. If you like this video series, please comment or consider subscribing. I really love to hear from people who like the videos or don't like the videos, don't like the planes, don't like anything, don't like the collar of my shirt. I don't care. Please leave a comment. And thanks, and we'll see you next time. on the Handplane Challenge.